Check them out at tru-bar.co.nz.
Kiwi.
Yes, it's 8:45 now on the Kiwi.
The Radio Wammo Breakfast.
Talking politics with Phil Goff.
Yes, Phil Goff, leader of the Labour Party, is with us this morning. Morning to you, Phil.
G'day, Wammo.
Now, you've been on the Q&A program on the weekend, and some of the information coming out of that Q&A program suggests that you're looking to do a bit of a shadow cabinet reshuffle.
No time soon. They asked me about, what were we doing to rejuvenate the Labour Party caucus, and I said, well, actually, a third of the caucus was elected at the last election or since. That's a major change already. Would I be looking at changing portfolios? Yeah, sometime before the election, and we'll be looking at those that have performed really well and giving them extra responsibilities. And there's a likelihood that at least a couple of people will be standing down, not running in the next election. So that will necessitate a change too.
Who do you think that'll be?
Oh, I'm not going to be talking about them until they've made their own intentions public. But Lynn Pillay, for example, is one member of Parliament who's already announced that she won't be contesting the next election.
And obviously some promotions in there as well.
Yeah, well, I've got a very good group of younger members of Parliament that came in quite recently. They've done an outstanding job, and we'll be looking at whether we can give some of them greater responsibilities.
Okay, did you read the Sunday Star Times piece with John Key yesterday?
I didn't actually. What was he saying?
It was a Q&A piece. It was set up obviously well in advance of 50 questions from famous New Zealanders to John Key. New Zealanders, what we're looking at, CEOs, academics, actors, comedians even. And so I guess he had some prepared answers for all of these. They weren't sort of done live and while he was on the spot, I'd imagine. Everything ranging from, the current economic policy to childhood education to health and to what who his hairdresser is. And I think that's what the Sunday Star Times mainly concentrated on, who his hairdresser was. That was apparently the most insightful thing. But there was a very good question from Jo Randerson, who's a writer. And she asked John Key, what do you believe enables a happy and healthy existence, and how do your government's actions contribute to the possibility of such a life for all New Zealanders? Now, I was wondering what your answer to that would be if you were in government.
Yeah, well, I think the first thing is, but not the only thing, is economic. You've got to have enough money to live on. It's very hard to have a happy and healthy existence if every week's a struggle to pay the bills at the end of the week. I think, secondly, a really important thing is for kids to get a decent start in life, and that means a stable, a secure, and a loving family to live in. And, tragically, I think in our country, 12,000 kids a year are found to have been abused physically, verbally, and sexually. That gives kids a rotten start in life and doesn't create a good community. I suppose the third thing I'd mention is it's the environment that you live in. We're blessed in this country to have a beautiful environment, and as long as we don't send the bulldozers into the national parks and continue to pollute the streams and and add to the global warming gases, we can continue to have something that money doesn't buy people in other countries, and that's a clean, pristine, 100% pure environment. That's what we should be looking for.
Now, Phil, you've absolutely surprised me because I didn't think that you were going to say that last part. And I was going to say that you both failed, but I can't now say that.
I get a pass mark, do I?
You get, well, if I had a little tick, like sort of little correct sound in the studio, I would have pressed it. Because I was shocked that in John Key's response, he talked about New Zealand being a great country. He talked about economic performance, lifting that, reducing red tape. He talked about social well-being. He talked about early childhood education being important. He did not mention the natural environment, which goes against every recent study into happiness. And I'm talking scientific studies into happiness all mention the natural environment as a key influence on how people feel about themselves.
Well, I think it is critical. I like the chance to get out on the harbour, do a bit of fishing. I like getting out into the mountains, doing a bit of hunting. I like doing tramping, going around the reserves that we've got in Auckland. And, you know, one of the great things about being in Auckland, you've just got that fantastic Twin Harbour, long coast, east coast, west coast, swimming. I mean, you know, that's the sort of thing that when you're living in a city like London, you really miss.
Yeah.
Any Kiwi that's done his or her OE knows that the thing that you miss is having that environment around you that you can just get out into, get away from it all, and enjoy yourself.
Because I
think that's critical.
You know, some studies suggest that poorer populations around the world, who may be poorer in that they don't have as much material wealth as we do here in New Zealand, are in fact happier because they live a simpler life, or in their environment around them is in good shape.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of you know, the various things that I mentioned. Yeah, you've got to have enough money in your pocket because it's you know, it's never any fun being poor. Ask any student. I remember what it was like at that point. But some families go through a lifetime being poor. But it's also about the family environment around you. It is about your social services. It is about your environment. And I think that New Zealand, you know, despite our problems, scores pretty high on that. I think this is a good country to live in. The fact is we've got to preserve those things that make it special, and we've got to build on those things that can make it better.
Phil Goff, pleasure talking to you this morning.
Okay, thanks very much.
See ya.
Catch you later, mate. Bye.
That is the leader of the Labour Party, Phil Goff. 9 minutes away from 9 now.